Welcome back to a new video. So this is kind of, I suppose, the end of playing every game, but continuing with the same file with the Tampa Bay Rays to hopefully make a winner. So if we're looking here at arbitration, we're just looking at people that are making a ton of money, which two people kind of come to mind, Shane McCallahan and Drew Rasmussen, which he has 5 years of service, which I believe this would be his last arbitration year. I don't know if Shane McCallahan would have another year of arbitration. It seems like he would if he has 5 years, but making $20 million next year, I think we try to shop him around to see what we can do. Since we are a small market team, we're not going to be able to afford players like this for a very long time. Someone like this, I think he probably has more arbitration years, so that's someone that we could look to potentially get, even if we don't want to necessarily trade Drew's at Rasmussen for him. It shows that the Orioles are willing to trade him. Sam Hedges is still hurt. We get someone like Bo Naylor. Guardians just want to trade us everyone. We get just good bullpen arms, but we don't really need a dominant bullpen arm. We kind of need a starting pitcher if we're going to trade him. So ideally, it would be someone younger like that. So let's look at the Orioles. Again, they had a pretty good trade offer, and then we can try to make a big splash trade. Did I go past them? Oh yeah, they're right there. So Grayson Rodriguez could be an interesting guy. So we're gonna look and try to see. I mean, really, all of these guys would be nice to have. So we look at Grayson Rodriguez, and then um, who's the other guy? I suppose Kyle Brandish, and we can. I feel like we can throw Tanner, and then let's keep working at it. Just give us Jackson Holiday. Just throw that in there. That'd be so. Jordan Westberg could be interesting. Mark Vientos was kind of disappointing for us, and he plays first base, so he doesn't really have a ton of value for us in the future. So um, that one's fine with me. Colton Cowser. We could trade someone like Parker Meadows. So that might be where it ends as far as what we're able to get from them. So what we'll try to do is just get money. This is one strategy you can use as a small market team is just try to get money from other teams so you can actually afford players and afford mostly like developmental stuff. That's mostly what I like to use it for. So Taj Bradley is there. He was pretty okay for us. I know in real life they traded him, they moved off of him, but I don't necessarily want to move off of him quite yet. So we're going to keep working at this so we can get rid of a guy in single A who's batting pretty or hitting pretty well. Griffin Jacks, oh yeah, that's the man. Mama, that's that man. Because he's hurt for still months. Um, it doesn't even say how long he's out. Recovery time a week. Whatever. I don't mind trading him. So, see if we can throw Carlson on there. I don't really want to trade Meadows or Taj Bradley. Could be an interesting trade though. So Colton would give us a guy who could play the outfield. It's just not. It doesn't feel like I'm getting enough if I'm getting someone like that. Colby Mayo could be interesting, but obviously they're not going to want to trade that. I'm fine with this. So we're going to go with that. Oh no, the team didn't like that, but we got like 8 players back for it, so I'm not going to be too disappointed in that. They put Matthew Etzel on waivers. This is what's annoying with this game is like, why would they put someone like him on waivers? That's just obnoxious. Like he played in the years. That's why I shouldn't have used the automatic or like the AI organization thing because now someone's gonna there's a potential for him to get claimed on waivers pretty easily, which is obnoxious, but that's a mistake I made, so I'm gonna live with it, I suppose. Um, we don't need David Fry either. So like Matt Brash, he's out forever. I always think some guys like that are available and they're like, yeah, they're out for 10 months. But you can have them. So let's keep a looking. Miguel Amaya could be interesting. Who's our catchers? Henry Davis and Dingler. Carlos Rodriguez could be interesting. The Guardians want to give us Tyler Freeman. They actually have Jung Ho Lee, which is hilarious. Angel Martinez could be an interesting one. I actually kind of want him to be honest. The Guardians have a lot of cash, so we're gonna try to throw Bo Naylor on there. I actually don't want that much for him, which is very interesting. I don't really want Bo Naylor to be honest though, but that was just kind of an interesting person to throw on there. We're just gonna get ask for all their money. So we can get $100 million if we just give them Jordan Westbrook. I kind of feel like we just do that and then just try to figure it out from there. I cannot endorse. Yeah, we got $100 million. I can endorse that. That's why you're not in charge of the team. All right, we have Angel Martinez now. Just checking Rule 5 potential players. All right. Well, hopefully no one claims him. Somebody will though. All right. So developmental lab. I think we have a lot of slots. I think that's one thing I'd change on here. If not, I'm going to change it right here. So we're going to go to, oh yeah, the lab. So we want the like maximum amount 30, less difficult, larger. I've been experimenting with it in these different files, and I don't notice that it does anything crazy. But I also don't individually do it if I have that many typically, which since we're going crazy, we'll try to do it here. So we're just going to try to generate bat speed for all these guys. Suppose pitch movement maybe. I don't know which. I don't know what I'm doing to be honest with a lot of these. See just pitch movement for these guys. Control movement. Let's get a lot of these guys on and just see if they can make some improvements. I don't know. I don't know. Throw him in endurance. See if he can turn into a starter maybe. Try to generate lots of bat speed. We have so many like average pieces. We just don't have a lot of top pieces. All right, let's get in our prospects. Torn UCL. That's unfortunate. Let's give this guy all power. All the power. Except he'll have quality of contact. Oh, he's a two-way player. Huh. Let's see, he has a reliever, so he's not really good. Still kind of useful to have a guy like that because you can put him in like the like garbage innings, so you can kind of get value from that. He's also another player, so DH. He's not a very good DH. I do like how they want to use him as that. Whatever. I don't know if it really messes with his development or anything, but we'll leave him there. We'll definitely for the second round. Well, we'll leave him in there until someone claims on waivers. If we're lucky, nobody will. I don't know why he's playing in that game or whatever. We don't want that man. Or him. Alright. Oh, nobody claimed him. Oh, we gotta wait longer. Let's see. Wow, I can't believe it. No one claimed him. That's actually kind of shocking. Alright, so. I don't know. Carson Williams got hurt. Alright, so now we gotta look at contracts now a little bit. So Lane Thomas, he's gonna want too much money probably. 11 million. It's not terrible. He got hurt for us, so that wasn't very good. I mean, for a good bullpen arm, I feel like we bring back both these guys for as cheap as they are, for as good as they are. And look here at some of these guys if they have any potential still. All right, we're not worried about offering real contracts to these people, just minor league contracts if they're veterans. So nobody's really gonna. I mean, nobody signed him anyway. That's why we were able to give him a minor league contract. All right, so Phil Matan, he wasn't bad. Let's see what he wants. He's cheap. He is cheap. Tyler Rogers, unfortunately, his arm exploded. See what if he's cheap. He's not bad, even though he's injured. So we got some veteran arms. I feel like with Lane Thomas, I don't mind letting him go. I feel like he did a decent amount. I mean, 14 home runs in a year is not fantastic, but I feel like between the other guys that we have, basically, I mean, he plays a pretty easy position for us to fill based on what we have on our team already. So I'm not too worried about that. And we have a lot of good bullpen arms coming back, or at least guys that pitched well last year. So I'm kind of good with where everything stands with that. Let me keep rocking and rolling. So Brandon Lowe won some awards. Suppose I have to talk about the option here. If I can. Where's the option? So it's $11 million. I feel like we execute that. We still look. Still might trade him for, he did a lot for us, but we need a lot of pieces. So if we can find a really good one. Nestor Cortez is a closer for them. That's interesting. Nothing that's really interesting. I mean, some decent prospects, but yeah. I mean, if there was like a 5-star prospect, maybe, but no one that's really crazy, so I'm fine with that. So we're gonna go here to the front office. We can max out our scouting and developmental budget. So the part we want to do in personnel. So it's all average. So we're just gonna go ahead and get rid of him. And then we start looking for some improvements with coaching. I don't know how much that really makes a difference, but can't hurt. So we'll just, oh, I didn't mean to do that. I don't know why that function's there. I don't know what it does. All it does is confuse me, and I hit it all the time. All right, so we're going to go. So we have Jose here, who's going to be our first base coach. And then Kim can be. Oh, wait, I lied. Actually want Sean to be our third base coach. And Steve Fish. Throw him a contract. JJ Barmiak. Ron Howard, the movie director. I think he'll be an interesting choice for a hitting coach. All right, we're going to look at trainers. See if there's anyone that's crazy. It's hard to find like a trainer that's good at everything. But look for prevent arms. I feel like this guy's pretty decent, but he might retire pretty soon. But we'll rock and roll with him. We'll look at scout and highly favor tools if we can find. There we go. There we go. All right. Everywhere I've seen, it's when you favor tools, it's better, I suppose, but I could be wrong about that. But we'll get him offered, so look there. One funny thing that you can do if you use the owner goals, which is why I think you just turn them off, is let's say the owner is mad about attendance. You just make this like $15 and your attendance goes up because tickets are cheaper and your owner's happy, even though you're probably not making any more money unless there's exponentially more. But it's kind of funny. You just slash your ticket prices in half, and then suddenly your attendance goes up. So you can kind of game that system. But the owner goals are, I guess, interesting, but they're not done. I don't think they're done very well. Like they don't really add anything because like accomplishing, I feel like if you accomplish them a lot, there should be like, oh, your budget went up. Like there should be like a reward. All you do is just you don't get fired. And I've even had like a successful team and you have one bad year and you're not like accomplishing the arbitrary goals that they make, and then it's just you get, I got fired. I remember randomly. I was like, oh, that's not a valid, because I'm pretty sure I had won a World Series like 2 years before, and I was like, that's not how this game should work. So that was rather obnoxious with that. But I also did a funny thing when I was just curious what would happen, but I just released every single person in the franchise and then just left the team, went to a different one, and simulated a year, and wanted to see how bad the team would be. They were pretty bad, but I don't know if they did anything historical. But 'twas funny. 'Twas funny to do. All right, keep plugging along. See if any of these guys are anything good. Nope. Can offer him a minor league contract since he's a young fella. And now we have a lot of money to look at free agents. So we could just make the best bullpen of all of baseball. So we can offer Devin Williams 3 years. We don't do trade clauses. We'll throw him money. And Edwin Diaz. So if our starting pitching will be bad, then we will just have the best bullpen. All right, you can have no trade clause. We'll throw you money. Jock Peterson doesn't feel worth it. 235 average, even though he had 35 home runs. I feel like that's prime for a bad season. And there's no one else really too interesting. That's a free agent, so it's a pretty weak free agent class to be honest. But let's see. I don't want I don't want a random first baseman. First basemen are so useless in this game. Like it's, you can make anyone a first baseman and they just instantly learn the position. Should never trade for an average first baseman. Should always be someone that's really good from a hitting standpoint. Guardian or the Tampa Bay Rays are spending money, or at least trying to. I'll offer you more money. We have $92 million. Let's see it. Fine, you both can have 3 years. Fine. Cubs always want to trade this guy. I don't know what he ever did to that franchise to make him want to get traded so bad. Ouchie, Chris Bubik. All right. But I mean, I suppose in a sense, like making the playoffs is good, especially for the division that we're in. So if we're consistently doing that, then that will be good. No, we don't want 36-year-old Sony Gray. I'm good. That guy's primed to progress. Yes, this is the player I want. What a goofy. What a goofy trade. Just a 41-year-old Justin Turner who has a torn back muscle. I don't know. Seems like a pretty good trade. All right, we got Edwin Diaz. Moving him on the. He's on the active roster. Oh, we don't want this. Look, guys, a AAA 27-year-old, like, fantastic year in AAA, but he's in about 150 for us and be useless. All right, Rule 5 draft. Let's look. Let's take a looker. Sometimes these can be kind of insane later in later years. I mean, like a random like 3.5 or 3.5 star type player, it's just randomly there, or at least potential. Um, no. Let's see if they want me to get anyone. Not Francisco Mejia. No. I totally remembered that he was on our team. They don't want us to get anyone. They're cowards. It's alright though. We don't need anyone. We can lose with the guys that we have. We don't need to lose with any new players. Still crazy how Chandler Simpson. I just love seeing that down there. 185 stolen bases. Parker Meadow with 92, and then third place 30. Actually, just insane. Dude, I did not want this, man. I don't know why they wanted us to give us just these. Why do these teams want to give us? No, no, I don't want to trade for a crappy first baseman. We don't need one. Anyone can play first base. But Parker Meadows at first base. I bet he learns it. But Brian Rocchio there, I guaranteed he would learn it. We got Devin Williams now too. Our bullpen is going to be kind of insane. Actually, it is going to be bonkers. What the heck? So we have Edwin Diaz as a closer, Devin, and then we have Rasul Iglesias still, Joe Jimenez still, Brock Stewart still, and we have Chapman just as a just there. That's actually hilarious. We literally might never give up a run. I'm actually very curious now with how this team will perform with that crazy of a pitching rotation. So I feel like our starting rotation isn't terrible, but our bullpen is so good. Do I want this person? No. No. All right. Do I sign them? International. No, I let him do that. Okay. See how far we get in the off season before I need to go sleep. Before I have to snooze. I got some pickleball happening in the morning. I'll be pickling. All right. Let's keep rocking and rolling. We don't have anyone to hit the ball. We have a lot of guys to throw the ball. We really only traded Drew Rasmussen. So, I mean, our starting rotation obviously got weaker, but our bullpen is actually kind of cracked. So we signed David Martinez. So I should take a look at he's 17, so I don't really know if there's any point of keeping guys in the minor leagues. Okay, it didn't let us, it didn't let me drag him there, but I could just right click him and put him in there. I suppose that's the thing. All right, they actually moved him way up. Interesting. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling. But they have one and a half star, 17-year-old with all that potential. Be cool if he turned out to be pretty good. All right. Shane McCallion improved. Grayson improved. Emmett improved. Taj improved. So our pitching continues to get better. Some of our hitting has gotten better. So nobody got worse, which is you like to see. So now we have a bunch of empty slots. So can we do anything with him, really? No. He has a lot of potential at first base, though. The guy could actually be a beast. He's set up for it. All right. Now what we need to do is trying to make everyone able to steal. Let's make Carson able to steal. Then we'll go to our team. Everyone will get good at stealing. Although his speed's really bad. Don't matter. He'll learn. He'll learn the ways. Everyone will be better at stealing. Even Chandler Simpson. Actually, you know what we actually unironically should do is make everyone good at bunting. We'll see if that works. I actually never have done that. So we're going to make every single person learn how to bunt. Maybe we'll just continue the series and just play more games now that we can have an off season and stuff. I think maybe we'll just do that. Just continue rocking and rolling. I've kind of convinced myself of that. At least obviously the off season there's nothing to like daily do or whatever, but Brandon Lowe, you're gonna learn to bunt. Everyone's gonna learn to bunt. We're all going to bunting school this year. We still have a lot of slots. Everyone is bunting. Nobody is getting out of that training. All right, so we're gonna look at prospects and then sort by best. So I mean, honestly, his base running and stuff isn't too bad. He's probably not gonna be a bunting fella, but let's see if he can improve his outfield defense. Maybe Xavier Isaac is a very interesting player. Okay, he's already bunting. You're going to learn to bunt. You're going to learn to bunt. Everyone, when you leave the Tampa Bay organization, will be an expert at bunting the ball, if nothing else. I don't care who you are, where you come from, you're going to learn to bunt. You're going to bunt. Because I want to do sacrifice. That is like the big thing that I want to be able to do is sacrifice bunts. Squeeze bunts. Small ball. I want to be able to do it. And for it to work sometimes. All right, let's see if everyone besides David Martinez, the only one. He's the only guy that's doing something different. Because I don't think he'll ever be a bunting type guy. And if he can learn some outfield, that could be pretty useful. All right. We have 23 people in here, so we're going to bring him up. I don't know if we really need to bring Brett Diaz up. All it's going to do is make it difficult to bring him back down. And we don't really need him, to be honest. That's good for that. All right. We'll power through the spring training. We don't really need to do that. We're not playing every spring training game. One thing you can do in spring training is to put people in different positions, and they will just learn those positions if they're able to. So instead of having people try to learn them with the off-season training, you can just put, like, say, Dylan Dingler at first base, and he'll get practice in spring training. So that is a cool little trick or kind of mechanic that you can use to get guys to have more versatility. How are you frustrated at bunting? How is not? How is bunting? How is anyone frustrated at bunting? I didn't mean to click there. We're not playing the Mariners. Imagine all these guys just get worse at bunting. He strained his forearm from his bunting practice. I feel like you could take almost any normal athlete off the street and for like a month teach them how to bunt, and they could bunt 100-mile-per-hour pitches. You just butcher bat out. I don't know. I feel like sliders and stuff could be difficult. If you're trying to like drag bunt and stuff, that could be difficult, but just the skill of bunting, like just holding your bat out and letting the ball hit it, is not very difficult. I'm relatively confident that I could do it with any pitcher nowadays. I mean, just not trying to get a hit or anything, just literally just holding the bat out and trying to make contact with it. Maybe I'm delusional, but I feel like how do you get worse at bunting? On hell, my guy, what are you doing? How do you get worse at bunting? Progress terrible. Forgot how to bunt. All right. Walter Jenkins. Oh, we got the number 2 prospect. We signed a beast. It's actually crazy. He's ranked number 2. All right. And he has good work ethic. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to work out. I'd be shocked if he didn't. Oh, it looks like the Rule 5 didn't work out. They brought him back to us. All right. Let's get all these. We don't need any of these guys. Phil dropped down to a 2-star. Kind of disappointing. Get him paid. And then a lot of guys we need to drop down. A lot of guys to think about what we want to do with. Like Spencer Howard, even though he ruined our season by sucking in the playoffs, he did have a good year, and so I don't really want to change that. But we just have so much potential. Yeah, we don't need we don't need the gambler on our team. We don't need him there. Our bullpen's just insane. We have so many guys now that we don't need half these players. Garrett Clevenger played fantastic for us. Only in 25 games, but still a crazy low ERA. I feel like we drop him down. Let him practice down. And then he can practice down there as well. There we go. I'm pretty happy with that. Now we just have to get rid of some of these guys. I don't know why Nolan Gorman's going to lead off for us, but Angel can go to AAA, I think. Well, Simpson can go back down. Mac. So Matthew regressed. Interesting. So he can go back down to AAA. Homer. Gregoria. What are we at? 30. So we gotta get 4 more people down. So we don't want Carson up at the majors. Or Brock. Hmm. I feel like we sent him back down AAA. All right, let's look to see. So Spencer Torkelson, he's kind of regressing pretty bad. So we're actually gonna move on from him. I felt like such a good trade at the time, and I don't think it necessarily was bad. He did some production for us, but he's not progressing like we would hope. We get Bryce Miller. Honestly, seems like a pretty decent trade. I don't know why they're offering that if we're not able to trade for it. I hate when the game does that. They're like, we'll trade you this player, but not really. Like right there. Like, why are you not accepting? Yeah, George Springer for $24 million. That's insane. There's actually not really anyone that's too good to get. See some prospects. So Rockies will give us a bag of baseballs. Yeah, not really anyone that's super worth trading. So we'll start him at AAA if we can. Which means we'll start Curtis Mead down in AAA. Hmm. Honestly, we might not even need Tyler Rogers. So we're just gonna go ahead and release him. Gets us actually down to our what we need for our roster. Very cool. All right, so we don't have any international players, so we just signed that one guy, and we're gonna be an opening day. All right. Well, who knows how we're gonna do, but we're gonna keep auto playing to the first game. All right, so that's gonna be it for this one. In the next video, we're just gonna hammer through this next season. So I kind of convinced myself that I would just not play any, and then change my mind. So I guess that's what we'll do. But gotta do this. Double check the front office. We have maxed out development and scouting budget. Looks like our team will get better as far as revenue will go. And we have the best possible fan interest at 69. Quite nice. So we'll hope that is going to work out for us. But, all right. And our team, staff cohesion, and happy. So next video, we'll play a couple of games. So I think we'll actually pay attention to this and just play one series at a time. So next video, we'll play the first series against the Pirates. Talk to you on that one. Peace.